Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through May 27th is $1 off hamburger and hot dog buns, $1 off Plum Creek chicken wings, 15% off barbecue sauces, and 15% off burgers, hot dogs, and brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Attention! Acres is cutting interest rates and offering great deals below market value on the largest selection of used inventory in the nation. For a limited time, Acres is offering interest rates as low as 2.9% on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Acres low interest rates, along with our below market prices on select John Deere used planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines, makes it a great time to upgrade your equipment for the 2025 season. Visit acres.com for details. That's akrs.com. Offer ends May 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric.
I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break. One-handed. Behind the back, over the shoulder. Oh, yeah.
They're peacocking out there.
Eyes closed like that. High stepping, high knees.
That guy doing
high knees. I saw a guy doing a karaoke down the sidewalk. Guys, is incredible.
Usually there's a microphone.
Yeah. I can do anything. Flip it over, sing into it. Then there's me. I'm like,
with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and as always, joined on the ones and twos with Harrison on another fantastic, I was going to say brisk, but another fantastic Sunday morning. And so hope everybody's having a good weekend as they get ready to go into a weekend of memory, of honoring, with it being Memorial Day weekend. So first off, how you doing this morning, Harrison?
I am doing fantastic. Yes, it is Memorial Day tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I'll enjoy my day off. We'll have, I'm sure, plenty of replays, at least set up on Allo channel 961 for anybody who still wants to watch ticket content. But yeah, it's just that time of the year. You talked about it, graduations.
Yeah.
Shout out Jeff and Nicole's. Their son graduated, I believe. I can't remember when the party was, but over the weekend.
Last night.
Okay,
yeah. I think East had theirs at 6 o'clock last night.
So. And his high school baseball also won state. So there's that as well. And we got the Big Ten baseball championship. We got softball, baseball. Just a really good time of the year for the youth that are kind of heading out for their next chapter, whether it's becoming a sophomore, junior, or college. And then just for all the sports as well, obviously being a sports radio station, this is with the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. Yeah. You got College World Series right around the corner. It's great for softball when you got Jordy Ball on the roster. They got another one today, game 3. That'll decide it all. It's just a sweet time of the year, one of the best months in sports. And just if you're a student, obviously a great month as well.
Well, you got to keep it on that when you said the sweet spot. So we'll keep it with the baseball scenario. You hit the sweet spot of the bat, there's a chance that you're going to go ahead and get a run out of it or get it out of the park. And so you definitely hit that one out of the park. Just a lot of things going on. And, as first off, just wanted to start again by, it is Memorial Day weekend, and it is a time to honor, remember. And I'm from a military family. My dad did 25 years of service at Howard Ferguson. And so appreciative for his service, but also reminded of the families that are involved and impacted, not just in, people say oftentimes there's sacrifice, but just the investment that they made into service to this country. And so definitely want to thank not only those who served, those who have given and dedicated their lives to the service, but also the families as well. And we've had a number on the show. Mike Alvarez is an individual who, has retired, but has definitely served his country. I think about Bill Bryant, who's come in and spoken about fatherhood so eloquently. Want to thank him. Nate Woods, Jarrell Roach, who was recently in this past month, who is still in the service and committing and dedicating his life. Ruben Beltran, a friend, but also a listener as well. And I can go on and on in regards to that. But what I do want to make note of, and it's something as I was reading a little bit about just the day itself, is people will say, Happy Memorial Day. And they have said, that's not necessarily the appropriate greeting. Because it's remembering those who have lost their lives. And so it's not about, saying, Happy Memorial Day, but more, have a meaningful Memorial Day. And so instead of just kind of, words matter and framing that, maybe just, have a meaningful, and a memorable Memorial Day. And so to all those that are still serving, but to those that have given and sacrifice, we do want to acknowledge and recognize that from not only Bigger Than the Score, but 93.7 The Ticket as well.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right in saying that. Obviously me half sarcastically, half serious, talking about being happy to enjoy tomorrow's day off. But you're absolutely right. Like, I'll definitely recommend just take a moment of silence, or even if you see somebody out in the street, just definitely say thank you. I mean, as far as I know, everyone might be a little different, but it seems like they do appreciate hearing that to a very high degree. They appreciate it. You're not going to make them feel awkward if you say thank you for your service. It means a lot to those guys when they're recognized for what they did, because sometimes hopefully not, but I do feel like sometimes they feel a little bit hurt or maybe forgotten by, not all, but some for sure. So if you see somebody or somebody who did serve, just be sure to thank them for their service.
No, without question. So appreciate that from you, Harrison. And you did bring up, it's graduation season. I want to get to our guests, but we could go now him on the basketball, the beatdown that happened last night. But and I want to see everything go 7. So I am okay with that. But with that being said, graduation season is upon us, and have made some of the rounds. And again, congratulations not just to those in the area, but also the extended listening audience. I mean, we had individuals from George Washington in Colorado with Kahari Wallace and his individuals. One of the scholars, Betts, number 1 scholar in the country, who completed her high school, career, and will be joining her sister, Lauren. Sienna will be joining her sister Lauren at UCLA. And so congratulations to her and just the other individuals. We had Michael, and then we had a group on last week. But, with that, got to hear a couple phenomenal speeches. And I know they all are, but I always tell people this is the deal. Like, I want to hear a line that you don't traditionally hear. It's like, opens Dear Class of 2025, and it usually ends, we made it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We made it. And so I want to hear the one where it's like, okay, it's this, not let's not go Kevin Hartish quite, but I do want it to get, that, give that moment and that, okay, man, I'm up in my seat. What's coming next? And almost to the point where you're right at that point where the mic might get shut off. And so I want somewhere in the middle, but I want to give a congratulations to all those that spoke. But Lillian Biddle and Maya Stevenson spoke for Southwest High School yesterday, and their speeches were absolutely phenomenal. But we've asked before, like, is there a graduation speech, Harrison, that you remember, or how would you want your graduation speech to open up?
The one I always think of is, shout out Jason Becker. He gave a great speech for our high school graduation. Okay. Like, that's one that
the fact that you remember the name.
Class of 40.
Okay, we keep saying that, but you didn't have to throw that in there. Just Jason Becker, he remembers you. It could have been if there was 700 or there were 40, but there was 40.
Great kid. You know them all because they're all great people. But that one, that one had so many inside jokes, so I won't reference it here. But the one I do think about all the time is, I don't know if you've seen it, but I believe he's speaking of Memorial, I think he's a former Navy SEAL, and the speech is talking about why you make your bed every morning.
Oh, yes.
And that speech hit true. It's a really good one. You can go find it on YouTube. I think it's got probably over 100 million views on it.
Okay.
But I mean, it's basically him going through this speech and talking about, the first thing you do is you make your bed, you set yourself up for success. And at the end of the day, if you have a horrible day, at least you get to go home to a made bed at night. And it's just like, starting off that day with a purpose. And even if something small is, making your bed, but like, you have to have purpose as soon as you wake up in the morning.
You know what? I've seen that one, and that one's
great
powerful.
Speech.
That one's powerful. For me, I think the thing I gave one. I'm gonna go with myself. I don't remember my high school or my college one. Tom Osborne came and gave one at our college and my senior one. But it was. I remember I said Kevin Hart. I actually had went to the concert before I was going to give this speech. And I went the night before, and I remember I was walking behind two individuals, and I remember I brought this as a prop. I brought this pair of like pink pants. They were fuchsia pants, but that's what I wore. And I remember I was holding them up, and I remember these scholars were walking. He's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I know what that is." He goes, "I do that with, one arm or something." Like, he goes, "I can do it with both arms as well." And he goes, "You too?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm amphibious." And so I opened up with that and said, and I mean, it just brought the house. But I was like, this has nothing to do with what I want to tell you. But this is what I was behind last night. And so I'm so happy that I'm here with people that are graduating, because I have a feeling that they're going to be in school for a while. And so the kid just seamlessly goes, "I'm that way too." He goes, "I'm amphibious as well." It's like, you're supposed to be ambidextrous, you idiot. But so with that being said, we've got our guest in the house. I know I went a little bit off script, but I'm excited. I'm interested to hear. So we've been Sawiki. Awesome. We got it. All right. And so I am interested. I want to know, what is the opening line that you want to hear at your graduation, whether it's high school, you're just leaving middle school. We'll find out a little bit more about that. Or college. What is the opening line that you want to hear from somebody at your graduation?
The opening line?
Yeah.
So in what way would you?
Yeah, just what's the opening line to the speech that you're going to sit up and be like, okay, this is going to be good?
I would probably say maybe, well, it'd have to be something funny.
Okay.
Something with humor. And I'd say maybe, well, we're not over yet, or
okay,
something like it's just beginning.
So they're telling you a lie, basically.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when you walk out the door, they're telling you a bullshit. Like, it's not over yet. You're like, dude, I'm gonna start paying loans here in a little bit. Yeah, you're right. Tell me something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Well, Sawiki, it is great to have you here in studio. And so she's going to tell you a little bit more about herself, but we're taking the graduation route a little bit different today. We've talked a lot about, individuals are graduating from high school and they're graduating from college. But we also recognize, and we talked about it last week, that individuals are, being promoted. They're graduating from kindergarten and going to start elementary school, or they're ending elementary school and they're going into middle school, and then middle school going into high school. And so you are taking that middle range where you're going from middle school and you're going to be in high school next year. And so first off, from us, congratulations to you. Well-deserved. You've earned that, but we want to know a little bit more about you. So tell us a little bit about your journey, who you are.
Well, my name is Sawiki, and my family, we've lived here in Lincoln for about 6 years now. So around the time when COVID started, we moved here, and we first lived in Sioux City, Iowa, for about 4 years. So then once we moved here, I started out in 3rd grade, and once COVID hit, I went on to Zoom. And in 4th grade, I was still in Beatty, but then 5th grade, I went on to just do Zoom. And so it was just a sort of homeschool kind of, just this classroom with kids who were only doing Zoom. And then that's when I went on to 6th grade, going into Irving.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, who's in your family? Who makes up your crew? They're out here doing a watch party for you. So I see them smiling, cheering, hands up. They're like, "That's my baby. That's my baby." So tell us who's in your crew.
Well, there's my dad. His name is Jose Antonio Garcia Mora. And my mom, who's Azucena Adame. And then I have 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. One of my older sisters, lives in Mexico, and she is 25. So she is the oldest of us. And then I have another older sister who's a junior, and her name is Amancaya. Then I have my 2 younger brothers who are Hiadi, and he is a 7th grader now. And then my youngest brother is Itzai, and he just started 5th grade.
Awesome. And so, as we were talking kind of with your family out there, your names have tremendous power in them, but also meaning as well. And so, I'm just interested. Can you share a little bit? Because you talked about, your dad was telling me a little bit about the dialects and the different components. What does your name mean, and why does that hold so much power, and just it being so special to you and to them as well?
It holds a lot of power because, I mean, um, it just shows how names do how they're so important and how they carry a message. And I mean, that's why I've always believed that if you're gonna learn a name, just keep trying. Don't just settle for like a nickname or something if it's really important to that person. So
I like that. And so, couple, do you have any pets? We always ask, do you have pets?
no, I do not
Okay.
anymore. But
Wow, this might be one of our first ones, Harrison.
I didn't last week. I think it's 2 weeks in a row now.
It might. Wow. Okay. So if you could have a pet, or do you even like animals?
yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. What would be your animal or your pet of choice? Not saying we're not putting this on your family to get you one because you're going from 8th to 9th grade, but what is your animal? What is your pet? I don't say animal. What is your pet of choice?
Well, my family used to have two corgis, but
Okay.
so they were cute. But I'd say maybe I'd still stick with dogs. I would just choose a pit bull, like,
Oh.
but the baby ones
Okay.
with scrunchy face and
Oh.
stuff.
Oh, the French
Yeah, yeah,
cheeses. I
French
think.
bulldogs
Yeah, that's
and
what it is.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a good choice. You have a name that you want to throw out for it.
Mm, maybe something like um just like spots.
Okay. Okay. Simple, but gets to the point. So you are moving on. We know a little bit about you, and you talked about kind of your journey. So you are I don't say being promoted. You've earned the right to move on from 8th grade. And I know for our listening audience, like school structure is a little bit different. So we're using the elementary, middle, high school. For us here, it's, kindergarten through 5th, and then you go on to middle school, which is 6th through 8th, and then you go 9th to 12th. I know different places have a
Yeah, I thought you
slightly,
guys just were 7th and 8th. I didn't even realize that.
yeah, it's
Okay.
a little different structure. So you'll be going to high school in 9th grade next year. Where have you gone to middle school? And tell us a little bit about that experience.
I went to Irving Middle School.
Okay,
Irving.
so the mascot is an aardvark.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
how do you feel about that? Since you just shunned him a little bit because you said you wanted a pit bull. No, in all seriousness, go ahead.
No, it was a little funky at first to think of a mascot as an aardvark, but I got used to it. So I mean, I sort of just it became a part of my school and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the Irving experience. What makes the Irving community? As you're getting ready to walk out, you're like, okay, looking back, how would you describe Irving to those of us that may not know or have ever been in those hallways?
Well, Irving is it's a very fun place to just there's always different spots you can go to if you want to, like different clubs, and there's always just something that you can be a part of, and there are many different things to choose from. And I always found that that was very fun, and just to be a part of so many different groups, and it sort of strung all together, and all the teachers are super funny and very kind. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, what are some of the things you were involved with? You talked about clubs and different opportunities. What are some of the things you were involved with at Irving, but also maybe outside of Irving as well?
Well, I started out with orchestra and choir from the very start, and that was a very fun thing to do. I sort of branched out with orchestra and did other groups like Yes, which is Youth Ensemble of Strings, and that was for like auditioning. And so then that would have I started joining different clubs, and I got to be a part of Circle of Friends, and very recently we did Equity Cadre, so that was very nice. And outside of that, I would say I also volunteer at Walt Branch Library, so I mean, just different groups.
Awesome. I have to put your name out there since you said you're volunteering at the library. The new library is moving right across the street here downtown to this space. So we'll definitely have to get you lined up with some people in regards to that. So we're about ready to go to break, but one of the things I'm just curious about, because we want people to still get to know, just experience the joy that we can see, because every answer you smiled and, you're like, man, I just like so vibrant of being in a space. What brings you joy?
I would say that is music. Always, just 100%. It's been there for me my entire life. And I mean, yeah.
What is there a certain type of music? I mean, I'm gonna have to tell you, you need to get down to 1040 O Street today because the playlist that our barista has going on, I'm sorry, it had a little Anthony Hamilton, it had New Edition. I had to tell her, like, you have got it on point. I'm surprised DP is still in his office and not out here, because I think there's some cameo, but it's not about us. What type of music do you have on your playlist?
I like to range from different genres. I typically listen to like maybe 2000s, just something that will get me dancing, and 90s, 80s. But I've also sort of like looked into different like 50s, a little bit 60s. That's always very fun, and just really any music I love.
I like that. Well, I know as we go to break, I like how you said like the 50s, 60s is kind of fun, not old. You didn't use the word old, Harrison. Most people come in here and be like, well, look at some older things. She said 50s, 60s. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, kind of 75 years ago. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you on that for saying the seasoned individuals. Hey, we're going to be right back with Saiki on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Attention! Acres is cutting interest rates and offering great deals below market value on the largest selection of used inventory in the nation. For a limited time, Acres is offering interest rates as low as 2.9% on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Acres low interest rates, along with our below market prices on select John Deere used planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines, makes it a great time to upgrade your equipment for the 2025 season. Visit acres.com for details. That's AKRS.com. Offer ends May 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Welcome summer with Red, White, and Barbecue. Hog Wild will be open this Memorial Day from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m., serving up our award-winning barbecue. Pick up a slab of slow-smoked ribs or a family pack loaded with your favorite choice of meats and sides, complete with buns and our famous barbecue sauce. Enjoy the holiday with family and friends and let Hog Wild do the cooking. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Staying healthy and comfortable starts with the air you breathe. If you're noticing more dust, odors, or allergies, it could be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Pure Air starts with cleaner air ducts. Pair with enhanced filtration and purifications options, and the difference is amazing. When the air you breathe is clean and fresh, your home smells fresher and your family is healthier. Time for cleaner air in your home? Call Bryant for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Looking to upgrade your baler this hay season? During the month of May, get 3.9% fixed rate for up to 60 months on used balers and windrowers at Landmark Implement. When you purchase pre-owned hay equipment at Landmark, know you're backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running. Shop all used hay equipment online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark dealer to experience the Landmark difference.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first one. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not too? Instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play, because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, as always on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. and joined on the ones and twos for the duration of the day. Always appreciative of Harrison doing his work. So Harrison's doing it this morning we got a brisk day going on, graduation weekend.
Sun's trying to come out now. It is trying to show its face over the weekend here.
It'll be here. I mean,
I don't actually think it will. I think it's like 5 days rain. We are the new Seattle. But if you guys want to join us, 402-464-5685. You can also comment on Facebook, YouTube, X, IL Channel 961. We do got Bruce and Davis. Excited for some baseball and softball this afternoon.
Yeah, we got a full day of Husker athletics going on. So be sure to tune in, but you can always see us on the stream. Go ahead and just keep us on, and then go ahead and mute the games and listen to 93.7 The Ticket at the same time. But hey, we are in the process across the country. I don't want to say maybe even across the globe. It's that graduation season. And so we wanted to honor that with a couple shows, as we've done last week, where we focused on some of our seniors who are getting ready to go on to that next step in life. But, also wanted to recognize, for a lot of families, they're having that emotional celebration, but also that trauma a little bit of, okay, my baby's graduating from preschool and now they're going to go into kindergarten, and you're going to see some tears in August when they have to drop them off at school, and not because they're not in good care, but they're just babies not going to be in the same space. And then you got elementary, and I got the opportunity to experience some of the graduation walks and just a phenomenal ceremony that they had over at Belmont Elementary School, them going into middle school. And then you've got the middle school going into high school. And so we have Saiki here, and she is a middle schooler that is going to get ready to go into high school next year. And so I'm interested in you, just what are you most excited about going to that next step?
Going to high school, I'm just looking forward to the new people I'm going to meet. It's just a very big, I'm going to get more experiences, more opportunities. I'm looking forward to just keep growing. And yeah.
So if you're able to make the announcement, because we're going to just do the announcement here. We don't have hats or anything, but this is like your official signing day. This is your official announcement. Where will you be going to high school?
I will be going to Southwest High School.
Okay, so Southwest High School. So tell us what can Southwest expect from you coming in? I mean, just give them a little preview of how you're going to grace their presence when you come through the doors in August.
I can assure Southwest High School that I will be going in with all the intention of just joining as much as I can without, filling my plate up too much, but also just putting myself out there. And obviously, I'll have my sister with me because she'll be a senior by then. And yeah, just going in with readiness.
I like that term where you said, I'm coming in with readiness. I think because sometimes we feel like we got to get people prepared. And so to hear you say, like, I'm coming in with readiness, I don't think that was something that I would have said or even maybe believed when I was getting ready to.
I used the syllabus week for readiness. So I was 2 steps behind. That's a good mindset to have heading in for sure.
Yeah. So I think you just gave that advice to scholars out there and honestly, educators come in with readiness. So what is the thing before we continue on with your next steps? What is the thing that you're going to miss the most? Like as you walked out of Irving for the last time, it's not that you can't go back and just visit or whatever, but you walked out. What is the thing you're like, man, I'm really going to miss this, or I'm going to miss these people?
Well, I'm definitely, even though I have the opportunity to visit again, I'm just going to miss a lot of the people, especially my teachers. And just, I'm going to shout out to Miss Reese. But I'm just going to miss getting to have that same schedule and just having the flow with like all different the sort of structure and dynamics I had.
So you mentioned somebody. You mentioned Miss Reese, Miss DJ Reese, who we've had on the show with her daughter Dawson. Tell us, we oftentimes speak about relationships and why relationships are so instrumental and so important. Like, talk a little bit about that relationship with Miss Reese, and then how is that like played a role in you having readiness for that next step in high school?
I think, well, relationships are very important because, well, they allowed me to grow, especially in middle school, just getting to know all these people. And Miss Reese was a part of the people that opened up different directions for me and different paths. And that's where I found different groups and just a lot of opportunities, to be a part of.
Love that. Love that. And if you know Miss Reese, that's what she does. That's what she's about. Her foundation is, relationships that absolutely matter, but also having expectations, And so what is a piece of advice that you've received that to this day, whether it be from your family, whether it be from an educator, whether it be from somebody that, you said you played cello, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it's been one of your music instructors, a piece of advice that you've received that you're like, everybody should have gotten this piece of advice.
I feel like that piece of advice would have been stop and smell the roses. Because especially during these times as we grow, like different middle school and just an adolescent, we move so fast and we're growing at a rate that we can't choose and we can't stop. But we don't take in some of the little things anymore, and it's important to just stop and smell the roses. So, yeah.
I think that's important for all of us,
I got a lot of wisdom in that. Like, that's the same thing, unfortunately it took me till like 25 when I realized I should have taken that more. But no, I mean, that's absolutely right. And I like what you said there. It's like, you guys don't get to control at all about how fast you're growing up right now. So if you can take those times and reflect on those moments that, like I said, I'm only 26 years old now and I still think about all those moments super fondly. So yeah, absolutely. That's a great mindset to have heading in through that school year.
Well, and I think, Harrison, what you talked about, and I like what you said is like, sometimes we sit here and, it's that season and, you can go in front of PBA or you can go in front of other schools and they're taking pictures and you're seeing a long list of posts. And I think about, thinking about bigger than the score. Don't wait till the score, the buzzer, is at the end. Do the stuff all the way up. and so there's a string of not just a flood at one moment, because you may have been sick, you may not have been able to get to graduation, or you may have had the flu or different things like that. And so it's a good reminder, like you said, stop and smell the roses and give people their flowers while they live. So you've got educators, many of them are, and I don't want everyone to say off for the summer, but not not having the traditional schedule with all students. There's summer school and different components that go on. But what is a piece of advice after, your middle school years? What is a piece of advice that you would give to educators at this very moment in time?
I would say probably that a key part of learning is listening, and that goes both ways. So, I mean, as much as a teacher would like to teach and hope their students are listening and being active, it should be reciprocated and just, yeah.
I think that's something too, and I meant to say it before, is just taking through the summer, because I think you have to work on those things. It doesn't just happen. And so some people are naturally gifted at it, but they still work on it. And so making that part of the repertoire of what they do. So listening is huge. What is a piece of advice that you would give to your peers? Just like you gave to educators, what's a piece of advice that you'd give to your peers to work on during the summer?
Probably just slow down. I mean, enjoy the experiences that we have, because we're in a time like no other, and where we're growing, and just a lot of things are new. And yeah, I'd say think about those moments and just appreciate them.
So we asked this question, or I asked this question last week. And so I'm just curious about how you feel about the statement. So we asked you, what can Southwest expect from you when you walk through those doors? You said, I can expect readiness. And so the statement I saw, it says, don't walk, but arrive. Don't walk, but plan on arriving. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
Don't walk, but plan on arriving. I'd say maybe just like showing up and sort of making like your own entrance, and sort of like it being a little independent, and just thinking about how like a way to arrive, like
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm always curious. I saw it and I was like, man, let me go ahead and ask, because the responses last week were very similar, but also very individualized.
What's it mean to you, Pete? Curiosity.
I think sometimes we come in with apprehension. And so even when you walk, you can arrive in a certain way. So, you got that little swagger, you got that lean when you come in. And so sometimes people are like, you got to run to the next opportunity. No, you can walk to it, but you can arrive with not only just your presence, but you can be present, when you get into that space. And so I like what Sawiki said, is like, you don't have to be in a rush. Stop and smell the roses. But even when you pick a rose, don't just stand there and admire it forever. Because if you do, it's going to die in the same amount of time. Those petals are going to fall off. So why not have them fall off and leave a trail for people to pick them up as you walk down? And it's like, oh, well, here's a rose, here's a petal, here's a petal, here's a petal, but you're in a different space. It's like basketball. We're a sports talk show. You're dribbling the basketball. What does the coach always say? Did you go anywhere with it? Did you go anywhere? You dribbled, but you didn't go anywhere. Go somewhere. Like I always say, go downhill. Act like you're going downhill when you're with the ball. It doesn't mean the basketball court's very level, but go downhill.
Yeah, it's kind of the same wavelength I'm on, because when I heard that, that's why I asked you, because it's like, well, I don't know how you can think about it quite a few different ways, but for me, I thought about it as like work ethic is a really good thing to have, but without any direction for it, all you're doing is moving a lot. You're spending a lot of energy. So when I hear that, like, don't just walk, but arrive, it's like, make sure, you're staying active, you're pursuing things, but there's a reason, there's a purpose, there's a goal at the end that you're trying to arrive to. You're not just doing a bunch of hard work, and you're not just, doing a bunch of extra club stuff, working hard in school to do it. There's a goal at the end. There's something you're planning to arrive at. So no, I thought that was a really great quote.
Yeah. So, As we get ready to go to the break, you talked about your family, and I love that, like, your family's out here pumping fists, having, enjoying the beverages at 1040 O Street. I think they were big smoothie individuals.
Oh, they're fantastic at the meal. I mean, you can get anything, but the smoothies and the granada as well. Everybody hasn't tried the granada. It'll change your life.
The age appropriateness and the granada. I mean, I don't want you so jacked up on caffeine. We had a third or fourth grader come in here and was like, "What? Let me try that." And we're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Let's
It
go
does
ahead and
taste
get
like
you a
ice cream
smoothie."
too, so I should hence.
But quickly before we go to break, and I don't say quickly, but just tell us a little bit about the culture of your family. You have them out here. You talked about where you're from, names. Like, just what is the culture of your family like? What is it like to be in your family?
Well, my family, like all families, we can go at each other sometimes and just like, yeah, but we're all very we always have discussions at the table, and we always like to think thoroughly about things, and even though we might not always agree with each other, we'll work at it, and we'll just sort of whenever we're eating dinner, there always comes up some topic, and it's like a debate sort of, and we always just that way we give each other advice, we share thoughts, and it's a very just like, although there can be a little struggle sometimes with siblings and stuff, we always grow at some point and just come to an agreement, I suppose.
So as we go to break, what food are we going to have at your graduation party? What has got to be present at your graduation party?
I'd say chilaquiles, and it's like a Mexican dish where it's typically breakfast, but it can be eaten at any point. It has basically carne asada with tortilla chips and cilantro and also onion and cheese and a bunch of stuff. Like, it's spicy, but I like it.
Mine Harrison's mouth are watering right now, so we got to get to break.
I was gonna ask, what time's the graduation there?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like right now. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Go hog wild with barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grata Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grata offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grata Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try a pesto BLT or a pizza bagel for lunch. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink in a variety of flavors and get a caramel latte with 10% of all sales going to the Hope Venture. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Early break.
One-handed, behind the back, over the shoulder. Oh, yeah.
They're peacocking out there.
Eyes closed like that. High stepping, high knees.
That guy doing it.
High knees. I saw a guy doing a karaoke down the sidewalk. Guys, it's incredible.
Use it as a microphone.
Yeah. You can do anything. Flip it over, sing into it. Then there's me. I'm like,
with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson, and joined as always on the ones and twos with Harrison on a Memorial Day weekend. And again, as we open the show, we just wanted to use this as a reminder of the weekend for the brave men and women who served our country, that have also given their lives for freedom. We want to make sure that it's not just a day on, but also a day off. And we recognize some of those individuals earlier. And just if you get the opportunity, just say, have a meaningful Memorial Day and just, again, honor and recognize not only those individuals, but the families that have served. And so with that being said, we are also honoring graduation, time of the year. I don't want to say weekend because it's a weekend for, Lincoln Public Schools, but I know last week we had UNL and the week before Wesleyan, but also across the country, we're acknowledging that. And so if you are in that transition phase or graduating, congratulations from 93.7 The Ticket. Definitely want to, acknowledge, and especially those that have gone through the university. We've had people on the show and want to say congratulations to you. But with that being said, we have an individual who is moving on from middle school to high school. And it's been great to kind of hear how you talked about your readiness going into Southwest High School, but also just how you're going to walk. You're not just going to walk, but you're going to arrive into space. And so one of the things is I get a feeling that you're a person who walks with love. And DP, station owner, and Rebecca have founded this on love. And so I want you to finish the sentence. Love is, because you've talked a lot about different times and your experience. And so what, finish the sentence. What has love looked like to you? Love is.
Love is never black and white, I'd say. And I mean, I, from what I have I have yet to experience, uh, like a lot of things, but from what I can tell, love might be messy, but that doesn't make it bad. And I mean, you can't just decide whether it's good or bad. There are so many components to it and so many ways to just um have it be with you. And there's no way to decipher it either. It's just love. And so it's never black and white.
I love multiple components of that. That's got to be the pull out for the week. But you said love, is never black and white, but love can be messy, but it's never bad. And never heard it explained that way.
Yeah, no, I'll give you throughout today's entire show. You're a very open thinker. Think about all angles of that. So yeah, when you think about that, I mean, that's a great way to think about it. Because there is those gray areas where, it's just, you gotta, if you really love someone, you know exactly what she's referencing there when you talk about those gray areas where, sometimes you're going to give and you're going to sacrifice and sometimes you're going to receive it back. So well said.
Yeah. So what are your future aspirations? Where can we see you in the future outside of the halls of Southwest High School? But 5, 10, 15 years from now, what are your aspirations and how can people help you with that?
I truly, as just like my 14-year-old self, I have no idea what I would choose to do, but all I know is that music would have to be a part of my life, and either way, I would always just strive to be as I grow and as I meet more people, I know I'll be influenced by um what groups I'm around and just how I grow.
So as you take us out, I want you to say your full name and then give us that you're walking out of Irving. Give us that graduation speech. Give us that start to the summer speech.
Okay. My name is Sawiki Garcia Rame, and I think that, well, even though we might not know what is yet to come, I know that for most of us, especially during this time, we need to strive to be the airplane in our family. And what I mean by the airplane is that our ancestors started walking, then running, then they had a bike, then they had a car, and now it's our turn to be the airplane. And we just have to keep those goals in mind and always aim for what's next without forgetting the present.
Wow. Sawiki, without question, hard to believe 14 years old. I think you just gave the commencement speech. If you want to hire Sawiki, please call 93.7 The Ticket. DP and Harrison are her booking agents, and she will be available for the class of 2026. Without being said, thank you. Congratulations. We'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket. Bigger than the score.